The last dance of the sun. In the heart of Africa, where the sun dances on the horizon and the earth sings the song of old, lies the kingdom of Zira. This land, abundant in both beauty and riches, is home to a people whose stories are woven into the tapestry of the continent's vast history. Their traditions run as deep as the rivers that nourish the land, and their celebrations are as vibrant as the sunsets that blanket the sky. It is here, amidst the whispering grasslands and towering baobabs, that Princess Amina, the jewel of Zira, holds court. Princess Amina is unlike any before her. Her beauty, it is said, could eclipse the sun, her intellect could outmatch the wisest of sages, and her spirit could not be tamed by the fiercest of storms. But it was not her beauty or her intellect that set the tongues of the kingdom wagging, it was her pride. A pride so fierce that it became both her shield and her sword. Amina had vowed never to marry for less than love, a noble yet precarious stand in a world where marriages were the bridges between kingdoms, the seals of alliances that protected lands and people alike. Many suitors from neighboring kingdoms traversed deserts, scaled mountains, and crossed rivers to lay their fortunes at Amina's feet. Each came with promises of wealth, power, and protection, gifts intended to dazzle and persuade. Yet, one by one, they left, heads bowed, for Amina's pride would not let her see them as anything more than distractions from her own desires for her life and rule. As time passed, her parents, the king and queen of Zira, grew weary. They had hoped for a union that would strengthen their kingdom, a partnership fought not just in love but in strategy and survival. But Amina, in her resolute pride, saw no suitor worthy of her hand or her heart. This is the tale of Princess Amina, a story that begins in the radiant glow of unyielding pride and journeys through the shadows of regret. It is a story of love and loss, of power and humility, and of a princess who learned to let that the pride which lifts us can also be our greatest downfall. Welcome to the kingdom of Zira, where the last dance of the sun heralds the dawn of untold stories. As the seasons turned in the kingdom of Zira, the tales of Princess Amina's unmatched pride and beauty spread far beyond its borders. Suitors from across the continent, each more eager than the last, journeyed to Zira with hopes of winning the heart of the indomitable princess. Their arrivals became as regular as the moon's phases, each bringing with them grander tokens of their affection and power. From the east came Prince Jelani, whose kingdom flourished in the riches of trade and whose navy commanded the respect of all who sailed the seas. He offered Amina a fleet of ships, each one a marvel of craftsmanship and splendor. Yet, Amina turned him away, for she desired not the mastery of the seas but a partner who understood the depths of her soul. From the west arrived Prince Tafari, whose lands were lush with endless fields of gold and grain. He promised Amina prosperity and peace, a kingdom fed without soil. But Amina saw in him a love for wealth over people, and so she sent him on his way, her heart still locked tight. From the north came Prince Kato, renowned for his wisdom and his kingdom's libraries, vast repositories of knowledge and ancient lore. He offered Amina the wisdom of the ages, but she found his heart lacked the passion that set her aflame. With each refusal, whispers of Amina's pride grew louder, painting her not as discerning but as unyielding and cold. Her parents watched with growing concern as potential alliances crumbled, leaving Zira isolated in a world where solitude was synonymous with vulnerability. The suitors' departures were marked by a mixture of respect and resentment. They had seen the light of defiance in Amina's eyes, a defiance that spoke of a desire for something none could offer. The kingdom's people began to worry, their admiration for their princess tinged with anxiety for the future. The king and queen, wise rulers who had long guided Zira through seasons of both abundance and scarcity, called Amina to them. In the quiet of the royal chambers, where the weight of the kingdom's legacy hung heavy, they spoke of their concerns. They told her of the balance between heart and duty, of the alliances that kept peace, and of the love that could grow from shared burdens. But Amina, with the fire of youth and the certainty of the untarnished, could not yet see the wisdom in their words. She believed fiercely in a love untamed by political need or strategic desire, a love that was pure and consuming. As the seasons changed once more, a sense of unease settled over Zira. The festivals continued, and the markets thrived, yet the absence of a union for Amina loomed like a storm on the horizon. The kingdom stood at the precipice of change, awaiting the arrival of a suitor unlike any other, one who would challenge Amina's convictions and reveal the true cost of her pride. This period in Zalira's story was marked by a series of events that tested the very foundations of the kingdom. With each suitor's departure, Amina's pride solidified, becoming both her armor and her cage. It was a time of reflection, of battles both within and without, as the princess and her kingdom navigated the turbulent waters of tradition, ambition, and the yearning for a love that transcended all. In the heart of the kingdom of Zalira, under a sky streaked with the colors of an impending dawn, Princess Amina found herself wrestling with unrest. Despite her convictions, the whispers of doubt began to echo in the solitude of her chambers where the weight of her choices pressed heavily against her heart. It was during one such night, filled with the turmoil of unspoken fears, that Amina experienced a dream unlike any before, a dream that would serve as a harbinger of the challenges to come. In her dream, Amina stood atop the highest tower of her castle, watching as dark clouds gathered ominously over Zalira. From the shadows emerged a fearsome beast, its eyes aglow with malice, threatening to consume all that lay in its path. Yet, amidst the despair, a light shone brightly, a beacon of hope that seemed to promise salvation. This light, Amina understood with a clarity that pierced the veil of sleep, symbolized an alliance forged not just in duty but in genuine unity. Awakening with a start, Amina was left to ponder the meaning of her vision. The dream felt like a warning, a call to action that she could not ignore. The realization that her kingdom's fate might hinge on her willingness to open her heart was both alarming and illuminating. As Zalira braced itself against the undercurrents of uncertainty, a new suitor emerged, veiled in mystery. Unlike those who had come before, this prince sent no lavish gifts nor grand declarations. Instead, he arrived at the gates of Zalira as a humble traveler, seeking audience with the princess on the grounds of mutual respect and shared ideals. Curiosity piqued. Amina agreed to meet the stranger, intrigued by his audacity and the air of secrecy that surrounded him. Their meeting was unlike any other. They spoke not of wealth or alliances but of dreams, fears, and the future they each envisioned for their people. For the first time, Amina felt a connection, a spark that hinted at the possibility of more. Yet, when the prince proposed an alliance, suggesting their union could be the key to overcoming the challenges both their kingdoms faced, Amina's pride reared its head once more. Haunted by her dream yet bound by her convictions, she refused him, convinced that her heart was not ready to concede. The departure of the mysterious suitor was marked by a palpable sense of loss, one that Amina struggled to comprehend. It was only after he had left that the truth was revealed to her. The prince hailed from a kingdom of great power and wisdom, one that had long been considered the cornerstone of peace and prosperity in the region. This revelation came as a bitter blow to Amina. The alliance she had so cavalierly dismissed could have safeguarded Zalira against the very dangers her dream had foretold. In her quest for a love untainted by necessity, she had blinded herself to the broader needs of her kingdom and her people. Faced with the consequences of her actions, Amina stood at a crossroads. The challenge before her was clear: to mend the rift her pride had created, she must embark on a journey not just of physical distance but of personal growth. It was a journey that would require her to confront her own limitations, to learn the true meaning of leadership, and to discover that sometimes, the greatest strength lies in the vulnerability of love. This pivotal moment marks a turning point not only in Amina's life but in the destiny of Zalira itself. The challenge she faced would test her in ways she had never imagined, forcing her to reckon with the pride that had both defined and confined her. The realization of her mistake weighed heavily on Princess Amina's heart, a burden that grew with each passing day. She understood now that her pride, once her shield, had become her prison, isolating her and endangering the future of Zalira. It was in this crucible of self-reflection that Amina made a decision that would forever alter the course of her life and the fate of her kingdom. She would seek out the mysterious prince, not as a princess bound by pride, but as a leader willing to humble herself for the sake of her people. In the quiet of dawn, Amina stood before the gates of Zalira, her resolve shining in her eyes. She knew the journey ahead would be fraught with peril, but the fire of her determination burned brighter than any fear. She ventured forth, leaving behind the safety of her kingdom and stepping into the unknown, guided by the hope of redemption and the dream that had set her on this path. Amina's journey took her across vast deserts, through dense forests and over towering mountains. Along the way, she faced challenges that tested not just her physical strength but her spirit. She encountered people from all walks of life, each with a story that added threads to the rich tapestry of her understanding. These experiences slowly chipped away at the walls she had built around her heart, revealing the depth of her compassion and her capacity for change. With each step, Amina grew, not into the image of a princess she had once cherished, but into the leader Zalira truly needed. She learned the value of listening, the strength found in empathy, and the power of unity. Her journey was a testament to the idea that leadership is not about maintaining an image of infallibility, but about the courage to admit one's mistakes and the resolve to correct them. Finally, after a journey that had taken her to the very edges of her endurance, Amina arrived at the kingdom of the mysterious prince. She was not the same woman who had left Zalira. The pride that had once defined her was now replaced by a profound sense of purpose and humility. Amina sought an audience with the prince, and when they finally came face to face, the air was thick with anticipation. She spoke not of alliances or benefits, but of understanding, respect, and a shared vision for the future. Amina admitted her past mistakes with grace, acknowledging that her pride had blinded her to the true needs of her people and the potential of their union. She extended her hand, not as a demand, but as a plea for forgiveness, for partnership, and for a chance to forge a new path together, one that would lead their kingdoms into a future marked by peace and prosperity. The prince, moved by Amina's transformation and the sincerity of her words, faced a choice that would echo through the annals of both their kingdoms. They were hung suspended, as if the very fate of Zalira and its princess rested upon his response. This moment, the culmination of Amina's journey of self-discovery and humility, stood as a testament to the power of growth and the possibility of change. It was a climax that would not only define the legacy of Princess Amina but also serve as a beacon of hope for future generations, illuminating the path of leadership through the virtues of empathy, understanding, and the courage to embrace one's vulnerabilities. The climax of The Last Dance of the Sun is a moment of intense emotional and narrative significance, marking the turning point where Amina's personal journey intersects with the fate of her kingdom. It encapsulates the essence of the story, a tale of pride, transformation, and the enduring quest for true connection and understanding. In the wake of Princess Amina's heartfelt plea, a silence enveloped the court of the mysterious prince, a silence that was both contemplative and profound. It was within this quietude that the prince, touched by Amina's sincerity and the evident transformation she had undergone, chose to extend his hand in partnership. This gesture signified not only the forging of an alliance between their kingdoms but also the dawn of a new era marked by mutual respect and understanding. The journey back to Zalira was one of reflection for Amina. Accompanied by the prince, now her ally and confidant, she pondered the lessons learned from the trials she had faced. Each challenge had been a stepping stone, shaping her into a leader truly worthy of her people. She realized that leadership was not a mantle worn in isolation but a charge to be borne with the support and trust of those she led. Amina's transformation was evident to all upon her return. The prideful princess who had once viewed the world from behind the walls of her convictions was now a leader who walked among her people, listening to their stories and sharing in their hopes and dreams. Her experiences had imbued her with a humility and wisdom that shone brightly, inspiring those around her. The alliance between Zalira and the Princess Kingdom was celebrated not just as a political victory but as a testament to the power of change. The kingdoms looked forward to a future of prosperity and peace, underpinned by the strong foundation of their leaders' shared visions. Amina's rule, henceforth, was marked by a newfound openness and inclusivity. She implemented councils where the voices of her people could be heard and established partnerships that extended beyond the borders of Zalira, advocating for unity and cooperation among neighboring lands. Her relationship with the prince, too, flourished, built on a mutual respect and a shared commitment to their people's welfare. In him, Amina found not only a partner in governance but a kindred spirit, someone who understood the weight of the crown and the responsibility it entailed. As the sun set on the kingdom of Zalira, casting long shadows over the lands that had witnessed the journey of a princess from pride to humility, a sense of peace prevailed. Amina's story, a tale of personal growth and leadership, became a legend, whispered in the halls of the palace and sung in the streets of the kingdom. Her journey reminded all who heard it that true strength lies in the courage to confront one's flaws, the wisdom to seek change, and the heart to lead with compassion. Princess Amina, once known for her unyielding pride, would now be remembered as the leader who danced with the sun, transforming her challenges into the light of a new dawn for Zalira.